Hey, so I wanted to kind of redo my coming out video. Yeah, I had too many distractions on the other video. Anyways, so where it all started. Hmm, it's a good question. Well, the first time I ever was hit on by a girl, I probably was like 9 years old. And a girl hit on me, and it was really no problem. I was kind of cool with it. But when a guy hit on me when I was 10 years old, it was like so traumatizing. Um, yeah, I just remember being traumatized and crying, and it felt so wrong. It felt like the worst sin in the world. Um, yeah, and going back a little bit earlier, I remember I was like 7 years old, and I was told that you can only wish upon a star once. And I remember thinking, like, all right, um, maybe I would want to be a boy because, I was hanging out with the guys. I was just hanging out with the guys while outside doing sports, scooters, skateboards, BMX bikes, because I was a BMXer for 17 years until I broke my neck in 2015 in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'll talk about that in another video. And then I had to have surgery, a halo, all of that. But anyways, back to me at so I was 7. I remember thinking like, ooh, when I see a shooting star, maybe I'll ask to be a boy. And I had a family member say that I could wish for anything besides being a boy, and I didn't even tell my family member about what I was gonna wish for. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of crazy that they said I could wish for anything besides the one thing I was gonna wish for. Yeah. So, but then I realized I like being a girl because, you know, I could have close friendships with girls. Um, I could hang out with girls, and yeah, I just always was seeking out a connection with girls, more so than most females would. I knew I just always wanted to just have a close connection with a girl. Anyways, yeah, so that thing happened when I was 9. I got hit on by a girl. I'm like, okay, yeah, no problem, whatever. I think she even tried to kiss me too, and I don't remember if we kissed. We might have. I think we did, but I barely remember it. And then when a guy tried to kiss me, I remember just thinking, and then, when I was 10, I remember just thinking, like, ew, like, ugh, just don't kiss me. And I thought, like, growing up in a Christian family, we have to be straight, and we have to like guys, we have to date a guy, whatever. Um, so, um, so I would like guys, like, talk to me and stuff like that. I remember telling a guy once, like, yeah, I just don't want to kiss you. Like, we could hug or we could cuddle. Even cuddling felt awkward. But I'm like, but I just don't want to kiss you. Which is really weird. I should have known back then, but I didn't because I thought that everybody's supposed to be straight. And then fast forward to being 15 years old. I was a freshman in high school, and I went to this brand new high school where everybody was freshmen. It was the first year of the school. And then I went home to, well, instead of going home after school, I went to my friend's house after school, and I thought it was interesting that her sister had rainbow shoelaces. And I'm like, hey, I like your rainbow shoelaces. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then me and her started talking, me and this girl, me and her started becoming best friends. I'm not going to say her name. But yeah, we were pretty much like best friends. I was a freshman. She went to a different school because she was a sophomore. And we just hang out all the time. And I'm like, oh wow, this girl's like my best friend. Oh my god, finally somebody that will let me like lay on her, you know. And I would, like, one day I laid on her stomach, on her bed. She was like, "Are you sure you're not bi?" And I'm like, "No, no, no way. I just like cuddling girls, or I like being close to girls, or I like having close emotional, you know, I just want to be, best friends with girls." um, and she was like, "Okay, I think you're bi." But yeah, that whole entire year we were like best friends. I thought like she was like the coolest person ever, and I thought her shoelaces were pretty awesome. Then I started thinking for a while. I turned 16 at the end of the year, because my birthday's in May, and graduation's in May. The end of the school year is in May, and I turned 16, and things happened at home. I got grounded from friends for the entire summer. But I would sneak phone conversations with her. Every night I would just call her on the house phone. Because I didn't even have a cell phone until I was 17 years old. I'd just call her on the house phone even though I wasn't allowed to talk to friends, which probably made me more introverted. Just being grounded from friends. And then I started thinking over the summer, I'm like, maybe I am bi. And I got sent to this program, my first semester of sophomore year, like this program, I think for drugs and alcohol, this rehab program in Arizona. And at the program is full of girls, and I'm like, oh my god, like this is awesome. Like, it's better than being home. It was awesome just being in these dorm rooms with like all these girls, like, so that I could just like be best friends with them or be good friends with them. And it was just awesome. And one day, because this one girl came out as bi, and I was talking to her, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm bi too. I finally came out to her, but I was like, don't tell my best friend and don't tell anybody else here in the program. As soon as I walked away, she told her other friends there, and then she told my best friend there. The one girl I said, to not tell, she ended up telling her. And then, like, I walked by, because they're all talking on the couch over there. And I walked by, and my best friend was giving me this weird look. And I was like, oh, like, I know she probably knows already. Just wondering what she's thinking now. And then she went up to me, and she was like, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, I just didn't want you to like not want to be my friend anymore. And she's like, oh well, you should have told me. I'm like, yeah. And the next thing I know, this girl's like hitting on me. I thought this girl was straight too. She was like hitting on me. And as the days progress, the weeks progress, as I don't know how long it took, days or weeks. She started telling me how she has feelings for me, and she started pursuing me and asking me to be her girlfriend. And I'm like, oh, let's just, do the Christian thing, and we're supposed to be straight, and I don't want to, like, cause you to be gay or whatever. So I kind of said, no, let's just stay friends. And she cried there at the program. She was crying because I want to be her girlfriend. Anyways, we did end up kissing, and I'm like, oh my god, that was like way better than kissing a guy. I'm like, wow, that's 10 times better than kissing a guy. Like, guys were all like sloppy kissers and stuff like that, and never got anything out of it. But when I kissed her, I was like, wow, definitely better than kissing a guy. And we continued kissing even though we were just friends. And one thing led to another. Anyways, yeah, I remember leaving that program, and I was really sad to leave that program, and I wish I would have said yes, even if it was a temporary relationship. Yeah, I do wish I would have said yes. I do bring up the whole like Christian thing because I grew up Christian, And what I want to say is, to this day, like, because, I'm just going to continue with the story. All right, so then by the time I was 18, I came out as a lesbian, because, I just never really felt it with dudes, and I just wanted to always just be close to girls, not guys. I got more of emotional satisfaction from dating girls, and I didn't get that emotional satisfaction from guys. Guys just weren't romantic or cheesy, or they didn't say all these sweet things. They just want to hang out or hook up, and I'm like, that's all you do? You just think I'm like a sex object? I don't want anything to do with that. I want to be with a girl who's, instead of a surface level, it's more deep, and the girls try to get to know me, and we have more fun together and have better conversations. I'm huge on conversations. And all around, in every area, it's like a lot better being with a girl. Yeah, so I came out when I was 18 to my friends and some family members. Not all my family members, just like my siblings. And it felt like a huge weight was lifted off my shoulders. So I was like, wow, I feel so much better. Like, this is awesome. I'm like so glad I came out. And one day, my one friend came up to me. She was a BMXer. She came up to me and she's like, hey, do you like this one girl? And I was like, I never really thought about it, but I just told her, like, I don't know. I didn't really give her an answer. I was surprised. I got the text. Well, the funny thing is, actually, she texted me if I liked this girl. It was her friend. It was our mutual friend. And I never really thought about it. And, but the funny thing is I was sitting at a church group. I was, like, at church group when I got the text message. Trying to be a good little Christian. And I started thinking, I'm like, okay, maybe this girl likes me, maybe that's why she asked if I like our mutual friend, because maybe our mutual friend likes me. So the next time, I made a plan that the next time I saw her, I was going to ask her out. So yeah, pretty much my first girlfriend. I was 18 years old. I did ask out our mutual friend. It was awesome. That girl was so awesome. She believed in me more than I believed in myself. I never experienced that from anybody else. Nobody believed in me the way that she believed in me. Anyways, yeah, she was awesome. And then the whole Christian thing, like, messed with my head for years. Sadly enough, like, I regret it, but I ended up breaking up with her because I thought, oh, I want to do what God wants for me. So I thought I, like, had to be with a guy. And then by the time I was 20, I was on my, like, third, fourth relationship with a girl, and she wanted me to come out on Facebook, and I was like, no, like, I can't come out. And she's like, yeah, come out. Like, we were together around the time, it was like 5-6 months we were together. Like, no, like, I really can't. Like, that's such a bad idea. Eventually, yeah, I did come out, and I had some family members say some hurtful things to me. And then, years later, I did some research. I'm like, okay, is it really a sin to, like, be gay? So, yeah. So I did a lot of research, and I ultimately came to the conclusion that, like, no, it's not a sin to be gay. The rulers at the time, Constantine, they all came together. They even took out some books in the Bible. So why weren't those books included in the Bible? So if they could take out books in the Bible, they could like rearrange. They could like change words in the Bible based on what they believed at the time. So maybe they believed at the time like, oh, the man should be the head of the household because men were more in charge during those times. So I think that's what really shaped a lot of the Christian beliefs. But why do we still have the same Christian beliefs from 2,000 years ago? Over 2,000 years ago. So, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so I just think that they just wanted the people to believe what they wanted to believe, because the people at the time were out of control. So they just had to do what they just said what they said to get the people under control. And they probably wanted men to, be in control of women, and yeah, and maybe they're not used to gay people, so their personal beliefs were probably that they didn't believe that somebody should be gay, and some of these men most likely felt uncomfortable, so they included that into the Bible. Like, just because they felt uncomfortable, doesn't mean, God had anything to say with that. I feel like I hear God's voice as well, so why isn't me hearing God's voice, as validated as them apparently hearing God's voice? And I feel like in my soul, God tells me that being gay is okay, and maybe to me it's a sin to be straight because it just doesn't feel right at all to be with a guy. Anyways, yep, that's my coming out story. Alright, subscribe, I have more videos coming. Alright, thanks, bye.